Hey there, my Stampin' friends. Susan here, Pumpkin Hill Stampers. So I have a Stampin' Show and Tell for you today, and what I'm going to show and tell is the January paper pumpkin. It's called Lovely Lavender. Now, if you didn't subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, you've missed out, unless they come back with refill kits or extra kits after a few times. Sometimes you can get those if you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin later on. You can buy past kits. So I'm still going to share it. I thought it was kind of lovely, and it coordinates with the Perennial Lavender DSP. So I'm going to create some cards today with some leftover pieces that I didn't put together and do some unique card crafting with you, but I want to show you what the kit made as the pre-planned projects as well. So the kit came with beautiful pieces. This one is a crumb cake background card. Okay, it's all got this printed polka dot with white inside, and then it has this front panel with a pop out, which is where we got the tag. Pops out, and then we put these embellishments on top with our little twine and our Happy Valentine's Day. And then for the tag, all right, that popped out the front there, we added a little bit of greenery and then another little sentiment here. And you could either use that as a tag, or you could put that on the face of a card, right? If you had another card base, you could put that on the face of a card and use that as your embellishment for that. So two ways to use that. And then the third project was this very floral project here, where we put this large square on the background and then built it up with embellishments and added these wonderful sentiments here. Okay, and there's the front, and then the back is this purple, which matches the liner of the envelope. So when you buy a paper pumpkin and it happens to be a card kit, you're going to get card bases and coordinating envelopes. So you're all set to go when you do your paper pumpkins. You've got both pieces. It also comes with a small ink spot, okay, stamp set, and then it usually comes with the adhesive you need, any kind of embellishment like gems, or this one came with thread. So you're really an all-inclusive kit where you can just craft the projects for the month, have 6 to 8 cards sometimes that you can use for whatever holiday or season you need to be sending cards out for. And just because these are the sentiments that came with them, if you have other sentiment sets, you could change them out. You don't have to use them exactly the way they are planned out. So I'm going to show you a couple of other ideas that I did while I was crafting these. So let me just kind of make these like piles, okay? So let's see, here's another tag I did. Okay, so it's a little bit different. I just used the die cut Love with, and other than that, it's kind of the same, but it's got a different feel to it than the first one. Then I have another one of these floral cards here. This time I took my square and I put it on the diamond, so it fit from top to bottom this way, so it looks more geometric, and I kept my flowers more in the middle. Okay, let's see, I have another one of those. This time I stamped on the background, kind of on the angle, and then I built my flowers off to this side and just put a double bow here. Okay, so they're similar, but they're different. Let's see, this is the other one with the front. So this one I haven't finished off yet. I figured I would leave it like this without the Happy Valentine's Day, and when I need the card, I can add my sentiment later on. So I've done that one. And this other one is very similar to this one, right? Just placement's a little bit different. But again, I can just add my sentiment to those when I'm ready to do the card sending. Okay, so let me clear these off, and I'm going to make a couple on the fly for you here as well with some remaining pieces. Okay, so I've got some of those glimmer purple gems from the spring catalog. There's another one of those card bases. That's the crumb cake with a polka dot. So these are all pieces right from the kit, okay? So I'm just going to fold my base in half. Set my little envelope to the side. And so this is the way two of the pieces came, right? Now these were both used on the purple lavender card, but I'm going to use them here on this card. And so my thought is I'm going to spread them out a little bit, and then I'm going to stamp a sentiment and add it down here, or I could trim all those off and make them a little shorter. So let me think. Do I want them a little bit shorter so there's more of that in the background, or do I just want to fill it in? I think I'm just going to fill it in. Just nice, tall, strong, bold images. So just like that. Alright, so the kit came with mini glue dots and dimensionals. I'm going to use my liquid adhesive. So I'm just going to do, ooh, that's a lot of liquid adhesive. I don't want that much on there. Okay. Let's pick some of them up and move it around. Or I could blot it off with a tissue too, I suppose, but let's see if I can just get it to share on some of these other petals here. I forgot this was a brand new bottle of liquid adhesive, so it kind of had a lot going on. Alright, and I'm going to put it on the bottom there too. So now I'm just going to flip this over, trying not to touch one with adhesive. And I'm going to put it off to the side a little bit. So I'm kind of filling in the left-hand side of this card front. Okay, now this one I actually think I'm going to put with dimensionals. So the project came with a whole sheet of dimensionals, so I'll definitely have extras. I'm just going to tuck these behind some of these flowers. Now this one's really skinny, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the edge, or you could just cut one in half, but I'm going to just take the edge and just trim a few smaller ones. Or if you had mini dimensionals in your collection, you could just use your mini dimensionals, but if this is what you have, make do with what you have and make it work. Alright, so let's see, let's put that one there. Alright, so I'm going to peel all these off, and then I'm going to put this down. Now, I didn't add any adhesive to this bottom white strip, and I think now that I've got my adhesive down, let's see, if I line this up down here, and I just place those on with their dimensionals, so that part pops up the front. Okay, now my little sentiment tag is going to go right over that, so I'm not going to worry about that. Now, for this one, I didn't open my spot because I have this color in my normal size ink pad, so this is Gorgeous Grape. So I'm just going to use my normal ink pad for my own convenience. Now, I have the sentiments from Wild Ferns, which is in the spring catalog, and I'm going to use the thank you sentiment for this one. So I'm just going to stamp thank you onto this tag that came with the kit. Just like that, and then I'm going to put a dimensional on either end, and then this will go right along the bottom of the project. Okay, so I'm just going to put this right over the bottom. Okay, and then I've got my fun sparkly gems, and I'm just going to add a couple. I'll add them right to the flowers, so they're kind of hidden, but they'll be there. Okay, so there's one of my alternative simple quick projects. Okay, here's another one. Move this way for a minute so I don't get ink on all my pieces. So this one is the floral base. Okay, the floral base card. And I've already done a die cut circle with my stylish shaped dies. I have the little purple banner that they gave in the project kits. I have these two little pre-cut die cuts, and I have these two Lost Lagoon leafy die cuts. Okay, those were all part of the kit. So I'm going to fold my base in half. Now, this one is kind of a directional print, so I really can't turn it sideways. So I'm going to keep this one like this. But what I want to do is kind of build a focal point off to the side and then put my sentiment down here. So I'm using this little piece of vellum just to kind of mask the background, but not hide it completely, okay? And because I'm going to put these other pieces over the top, I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of adhesive right to the front of the card, because you're not going to see that behind the other embellishment parts that go on. Okay, so there's that. Alright, so I'm just going to do kind of these in sprigs, and then I'm going to add those on top, and then we're going to put the sentiment along the side. So this time, because that liquid adhesive is really kind of runny, I am just going to use these mini glue dots that came with the project kit. There's plenty of extra adhesive, so, you know, don't throw it away. Save it for the next project of your own. Alright, these resources are multifunctional. They're not just for this one project that came in the mail. So I'm just going to peel those off. one more. Peel it off. Okay. So I'm just going to put this one over here. And I'm going to put this one off the other way. Overlap a little if you want them to, but they don't have to. They're just kind of filling in and being that front embellishment. Okay, so these little guys I want to add with dimensionals, but again, they're skinny, so I'm just going to cut along my edge to create some half dimensionals to use behind them. So just peel those off and stick them down. There we go. It's got to behave. Very sticky. Okay. You stay put. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Alright, so peel these off. Got one more there. Okay, so now we're just going to add these 2 sprigs of lavender. These are popped up, right? That's why we put the dimensionals on them. Alright, so now I have this purple tag that can go here, and I have the die cut love that's going to go right on top. So, because that's popped up, I'm going to pop this up too, just to keep it kind of even with the height of the card there. That way it won't be kind of wavy, it'll be straight across. So I put it across there, and I'm going to go around those 2 stems. Try to make that even with the bottom of my card. Okay. And then I've got this love, which I want to put right, kind of right there. So, let's see if I can do this with my liquid adhesive. Certainly can do it with the fine tip glue if you have it, or you could use the mini glue dots and kind of roll them to hide them behind the section that you need it behind. Okay, I'm just going to put that there. Let that adhesive set. Okay, so there's another little alternative card, all from pieces that came with the kit originally. Okay, alright, now I said that they paired nicely with the Perennial Lavender DSP. So I have another piece of just crumb cake card base, and I'm going to fold this in half and give it a cleaner crease because it looks like it's off just a little bit. This is just a standard card base. And then I cut this panel from the DSP packet, and I'm just going to put that right on the top. And there's just a little bit of edge showing down the side. It's just a little bit of framing. You could cover the whole front. You could make it skinnier if you wanted to. This just happened to be the width of a piece I had left over, and I just cut it to 5.5 inches to put on the front of my card. Okay, so there's my card front with the other paper. So I had this other tag, and I want to put it on the front here, and I had one more sprig that was pre-cut. So I'm just going to put that off to the side and then put this here. But what I want to do is I'm going to stamp and emboss on the front of this tag. So I'm going to bring back my Wild Ferns stamp set, and I'm going to pull out the Wishing You stamp. Now I haven't mounted this one, so let me show you how we mount them real quick. A little review. Alright, so this is my stamp, it's got backer on it, and this is my label. Okay, so I peel the label off. It's got a crease in the middle, so I just pull off the 2 backers on my label and I put that on my table. Then I pull off the paper from the back of the mounted stamp, and then I flip it over, and it's like a puzzle piece, and I just do my best to set it down in the die cut section, press it down, and then peel it off, and then my stamp is ready to use with its label. Alright, now I'm going to take that and put it onto my block. Now, because I want to do heat emboss, I'm going to use Versamark ink. I've got my tag, and you see without an ink on there, it's going to go right like that. So I'm just going to go right in the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this up. I'm going to stamp it in the center. You can see through everything so I can get really good placement. And then I'm going to take this and dust it with white emboss. I hope it's white. I think it's white. Hopefully it's not my clear emboss. Guess we'll find out in a minute. Okay, so I've dusted it. Close up my ink. I don't even need to put my hand in it. And then I'm just going to heat emboss this real quick. White. Yay! Alright, so now I've got a little tag with my stamped sentiment on it. It's going to go right there because it's kind of mellow, hangs out there. So I'm going to add this little sprig. Now, the liquid adhesive doesn't come in your kit, but I always have liquid adhesive on my table, so I'm using it for ease and a little bit of speed because those glue dots take a little time to peel off. So I'm going to put this off to the side. And then I'm going to put this on dimensionals and pop it up. Now it does have the tag die little hole in there, so we could put ribbon in there or the twine to finish it off if we want to. At the moment I'm not going to take the time, but it certainly could be done. And so I'm going to put this here. Okay, and let's see, it does need a little twine of something. So do I put it in the top or do I put a little bow on it? I think I'm going to put a little bow on it. So I'm just going to pull a length off and see if it'll tie a nice bow for me. So sometimes when you're using the thread, one, it's very curvy, so it kind of takes a little work to get it to lay out flat for you. I'm going to double it, and then I'm just going to make 2 bunny ears. Okay, so around my fingers I make 2 bunny ears. And then I tie the bunny ears in a knot. Bring the ear through the middle. Both lengths, okay. And then pull. And then you can pull back on the tie ends until you have a usable bow. Well, I lost it. Alright, so now I've got this little wonky bow. Let's see, can I fix it? Yeah, just straighten that out a little bit. I'm going to trim this long thread there. Okay, and so now I've got this kind of lopsided loopy bowl, but you know what, sometimes it's fun to do things that are a little bit not as you expected them. And I could tuck that right there, so it's going to give me a little texture, a little frill, but it doesn't necessarily have to look like a bow. So those of us who are bow challenged, don't panic, find another way to find your bow. Alright, so I'm going to add a glue dot to the thread. It's going to let me peel this off. Cooperate, please. Yep, okay, that glue dot. So I'm just going to push that down kind of on my knot, and then I'm going to tuck that right here under the side. And now I've got that frilly little bow there. A little texture embellishment on the side. Okay? Alright, so there's the second little card I had in my, or third little card I had in my idea of cards. Okay, now I have one more. I think I'm running a little bit long, but we'll try to get it done. So this one is kind of like a fun fold. So let me talk you through what I'm thinking on this one. I haven't finished it in my head. So we have one more panel that was for the card that makes the tag. I've done some die cutting with Shaded Spruce and Gorgeous Grape, and I used my Wild Meadow dies. So they corded nicely with all of this. I have one more of those squares. I'm going to use that in the inside. And then I have a piece of 12-inch DSP from the Perennial Lavender DSP. So what I decided to do is I want to make a little three-dimensional card. So what I did was I put my DSP piece on my scoring tool. And then I took this piece and I flipped it over so I could see where this was. And I put this down level and I said, okay, this is where I would score. And I took my stylus and I scored, and that happened to be 1.5 inches. Then from 1.5 I went across 4.25, which is the width of a standard card. Whoop. And then I took this again and I put it at that score line and I turned it around this way because I want to push this tag through. So I needed to come across far enough here. So I think I went another 3.5 inches. So I know I didn't show you that, but I explained it. So there's my first score, and then this one's going to come across. Okay, and now I have this little extra section. So I'm just going to take my paper snips and trim it off. You could certainly trim it off on your paper cutter. So whichever is at your disposal, you can do it. I just have so much stuff on my table right now. I didn't think I would bring the paper cutter into the mix. Okay, so now I have this folded card. Alright, now here's my front panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pop the tag out of its die cut. Set that aside. I'm going to open this up like this. And I'm going to adhere this piece to this little side wing here. Okay? A little wing right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put adhesive here. And then I'm going to line this up with my creased card and press it down to the DSP base. Okay? Now, if you didn't want to do that, if you didn't want to just do this on flap, you could just leave it with this and that'd be a pretty little window box, but that wasn't the idea for today. Alright, so then I have this piece here. I'm going to fold that in. Now, watch what I'm going to do. Here, the window, and this is going to sit back in that window. Okay? And then when it opens, that'll come off right and that'll be there. So now, I'm just going to put that in there, like that. So this time, because I want the placement right, I'm going to put my adhesive down here. Alright, use that die cut window to help you know where to put it and where not to put it. And then I'm just going to press that down. Looks like I put it all back together. But in essence, I have a card that opens like this. Okay, and then I'm going to use this one on the inside just as a little mat. And I'm just going to put that right in the center. And then I'd stamp my sentiment on that. Okay, here and here. And then, like I said, I have these die cut just out of cardstock sprigs and leaves. And I'm going to dress up the front with them, just so there's a little differentiation between the tag piece and the front piece. Okay, so let's see. Now I want to be careful. I only want to add adhesive over here. So I don't want to do this sprig here. So I'm going to put my thumb there. And I'm just going to put a little dabs, if it cooperates, little dabs of adhesive here. Come on, just a little bit. I can adhere this down so it's not too wiggly. Put that down. And then I've got a sprig of lavender I'm going to put over the top of that. My adhesive went from very runny to hard to come out. So let's see, put it down so I can do a little more pressure. So when you get a paper pumpkin, guys, or if you haven't thought about getting a paper pumpkin, it comes with pre-planned kits that are easy to put together. Fun little stamp sets and all the parts and pieces you need to be a success. But don't forget, you can think outside and craft outside the box. Use the parts and pieces with the other things in your collection and make your own fun little cards. Alright, I'm just going to snip this off because it's a little bit long. And I have another one of these. I can maybe put that on the inside, but I'm not going to do that right now. Alright, so I've got all this. And then I have extra tags for sentiments. This one, I think. I'm going to use another one of these square ones. Rectangle ones, I should call it rectangle. Okay, and I'm going to use this one if it fits. You are greatly appreciated. Again, that comes from Wild Ferns. And this could actually go in here. I put that down in there, and then it would be there across that when they open the card. So I'm going to do that a little bit different. Different's not bad. It's just different. Okay, so I'm going to center that on my tag there, and then I'll just trim the edges. This one sticks off a little. I'll trim that. And this one sticks off a little. So I'll trim that. And there's my other card. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little walk through the paper pumpkin. If you want to try it, you can subscribe. I have my link below, so you can get signed up for the next one. Now, the project kit that comes out in March, because we're in February already, right? These were the ones from January. The project kit that comes out in March is actually the anniversary kit, so you actually will get 2 stamp sets in that box. So if you think you want to do that, don't wait too long to sign up, because sometimes that month does sell out. So don't miss out on some fun projects. Alright guys, leave me comments, let me know if you liked the alternative projects that I shared, and if I have any questions, if you have any questions about how this all works, you just pop me a question or contact me by email, and I'm happy to help you out. Alright, have a great day and do some fun stamping, and I'll see you again when I stamp again soon. Alright, bye-bye.